Tracy, Titus.
What's up, guys?
Dude, as far as fighting, man, so you've been doing this for how long now with the BJJ?
Just under a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. What would you say as far as like your favorite thing is about this sport?
So far, the competitions and just being able to compete and yeah, just coming out to venues like this and being able to perform so early on.
You know where you are right now, Gillies, this is where I saw Megadeth the first time. I literally saw them in 2009 and I met Dave Mustaine, and I was thinking about that, like watching you perform, or actually whenever I saw like the event for it, I thought, whoa dude, he's playing at fucking Gillies, you know?
Yeah man, it's just real crazy to think that I would have never thought, because I've been to this venue to see shows myself, and I would have never thought in a million years back then, if you would have told me, hey, you're going to be here as a performer, as a, you know, competing the way I did, I just would have never imagined it.
Yeah, totally. And it's sick too, because it's like you fucking performed and you got paid, which is really sick.
Yes, I got paid. This is official. First paycheck.
That's so sick. So whenever the first fight that I saw you at Southern Junction,
right,
the opponent that you were fighting against, what was his name? Is it Carlos?
Carlos,
yeah.
Yeah.
And how would you say, as far as, because I've seen you fight a couple different opponents, what would you, like, is their style vary greatly whenever you're fighting different people?
Yeah, the styles have all been different for all three of my last opponents that were on the professional level. The first one, Carlos, he was a flyweight, meaning he weighed 125, and I was at featherweight, 145, so the contest was at an open weight, meaning there was no weight limitations. But you would think the smaller guy would be at a disadvantage. Well, in that match, he actually had the advantage with his speed and how small he was. He was able to get underneath me in ways that I couldn't stop.
You know that saying where it's like everybody's got a plan until it hits you.
Right, and I have game plans before these matches. I try to study tape on my opponents and look to see if they do the same things in their matches. I mean, that's the whole point of watching tape, I suppose, just to see where they're at and what their habits are on the mat.
Right.
But that never works out for me, because as soon as we're out on the mat, their movements are different from their last matches.
Yeah. Which, you know, I guess each time it's kind of its own circumstance where somebody's going to be trying different things and whatnot. So.
Right, and even for myself, for each of these matches, especially these last three, being that they're on such a high level, I've had to change my game, because if anybody watches back on my tape, they're going to see that I pretty much do the same thing. I have the same game plan set in place, and now that's kind of being exposed, so I have to work harder to have better game plans.
Kind of come up with something to where the next guy that you fight, you know, you're gonna throw him a curveball.
Exactly, which I feel like I did with this opponent here. I had a whole different approach than my last matches, and
it seemed like you were more aggressive, like you were more like willing to make the first contact. In a way. So, I told myself that that I need to start doing that. I need to be the first to go out there and initiate contact. I need to, you know, be a bit more aggressive, and I think my last couple of opponents, they've been much younger than me, over 10. One was 15 years younger than me, I believe. And with those guys, they're so young that they have so much energy. So I kind of had to adopt that. You know, anytime I go out there, I know that that's going to be a necessary part of my performance. And I think I told you too, there was one time, man, I got my ass kicked basically by a couple 16-year-olds, and so I can see it to where, you know, kids, they just have like, there's nothing really for them to lose, so they're kind of a bit more dangerous or willing to try something fucked up?
Yeah, the age definitely places you at a disadvantage, especially with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They just have a leg up on so many different things. Cardio, strength sometimes, intensity, their energy levels. It's just, if I'm gonna be out there with these guys that are as young as they are, that's something I need to improve within myself if I want to continue to do this.
Right.
And
now I will say that, like, because I've talked to your mom a couple times, you know, going to these events, and I always feel like she's very supportive and enthusiastic. And you know, something that she said that I thought was really cool is that you have the gumption.
And so, I love when she says that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that, you know. So it's like you do have, at least there's like that fighting edge of like you're willing to like maybe go the extra mile to do something. And in this case, it's like kind of a 180 from what I knew, or what we both knew of each other, like probably, you know, 5 years ago or something. I think that's really cool to see the growth, you know. So
thank you. Yeah, man. I feel like I've grown a lot from my past, and I really owe a lot of that to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just like, I'm really happy with my place right now in this sport. I'm, you know, I've been adopted, you know, by this community. These matches that I have for these organizations at this level, I was only able really to facilitate these through, you know, networking with the guys that own these organizations, and, you know, just talking to them whenever I can. And I met them before competing, some of them, and you know, that's just been, I've just been kind of, you know, growing into my own within Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm just really happy, man. I'm just having so much fun, win or lose, you know.
Right. That first match that I saw at Southern Junction with Carlos, I thought it was so sick because it was like, I think a highlight of the whole day. That match was definitely a highlight because it was almost like a David and Goliath scenario.
Man, it definitely had kind of, if anybody watches mixed martial arts, it kind of had like a Japanese mixed martial arts kind of like gimmick to it, with me being so much bigger than him. I outweighed him by like almost 40 pounds.
Right.
And I had like over a foot of height on him. So I think the crowd at that Southern Junction, the crowd here was huge, pretty big, but the crowd at Southern Junction was really big from what I remember. And
it was a little rambunctious.
It was rambunctious, and I feel like everybody was behind that match because of the difference in size, and it was just a very interesting match, and it went to a decision the whole, I think it was 7 minutes for that one, and I was really proud of that. And a lot of people liked that match. A lot of people came to me and told me how much they enjoyed watching it, and how they wanted me to come back. And I did come back. Now my last one after that for Elevate Submission Series, that one it didn't really work the way I wanted it to, you know. It ended pretty fast, and I would have liked to have been out there longer than I was, but that kid, he was tough, man. He was riding a 17 fight winning streak. You know, for me to be the one to go in there.
He's already like kind of coming in really hot, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
Jesus.
Like, Jesus was his name.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That kid was tough. He had won multiple AGF classic competitions, gold medals, and so many different competitions. So
damn, that's great.
What, like my competition, my opponents has been nothing but, you know, A+, tough as it can come.
Like almost like the top tier.
Almost the top tier within the level of above me, because you have to remember I'm a white belt. Like I said earlier in the interview, I've only been doing this for, you know, just under a year.
Yeah, totally.
These guys are, you know, over a year, 2 years in, blue belts.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that I'm able to perform the way I am.
But yeah, and that's a good point too. You being a white belt, like I feel like it also adds like a different angle, because sometimes being inexperienced is like an advantage in its own case, to where maybe you'll like do something unexpected.
That, you know, a lot of people told me that too. I always kind of go in like within my own headspace, I won't lie to the camera here. You know, I have a lot of doubts going into these. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
With these guys, our skill levels, it's such a deficit, you know, for me coming in. But like you said, that kind of goes out the window with these matches because there's always a chance for the underdog to win.
Yeah.
That has happened before.
Right.
And yeah, I've had people tell me that there's, you know, don't get too much in your head. There's always a chance for you to pull one out unexpectedly, and there's going to be a point in time, you know, and not in the distant future, where I'm no longer going to be the underdog.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, you'll be seasoned at that point.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, so another thing too, because I felt like I had brought this up on one of our conversations earlier, but that I kind of see the way that you perform, and you look like really natural at performing. Would you ever consider maybe doing like a professional wrestling kind of thing, or more like a wrestling kind of circuit?
I am not opposed to anything, you know. Nothing's off the table for me. I've done enough of these shows to kind of have, like, you know, an idea of how the production of these things are done. Like everything, you know, has to go according to the schedule. Like they had me backstage. They said all the fighters come to the backstage area. There was a guy with a headset. He was like, hey, you know, trying to get everybody ready that was coming up. And there's a show to these events that I've done, these pro events. And I think that I've got that part down. You know, I might not have the actual jiu-jitsu down, but as far as like the events and navigating them, like I had never competed here. Like the last two were both at Southern Junction in Irving, but this was the first time that I had competed here at Gillies. And I was able to navigate it right away. You know, I just walked in. My corner wasn't able to come with me today because he had kind of a family emergency to tend to.
And when you say corner, is that kind of your like sensei, like the guy, like?
That's my
mentor?
That's my coach. You could say he's a mentor of mine. Yeah, I owe a lot of what I know and where I'm at in jiu-jitsu right now to him. His name's Carlos Blanco. He's my coach at Rooster Grappling Arts. I just owe so much to him, and my training partner, his son Amir. Both those guys, you know, they've looked out for me. They kind of helped me get started with Elevate, and I'm just glad I met people like them. You know.
Dude, that's fucking sick. And kind of the reason why I bring it up is because whenever you're doing stuff like, let's say, like this right now with BJJ, there's a lot of grappling. I feel like if you did ever wanted to cross over, like, let's say, like a wrestling kind of atmosphere, I think a lot of that would translate to that.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't.
As far as like the physical portion of those matches, I don't think they're exactly comparable. I would honestly think that the professional wrestling is harder than the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because of all the wear and tear on their body. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. You know, maybe my gimmick could be the Jiu-Jitsu guy. I could do Jiu-Jitsu moves and they throw me out the ring or something.
Maybe you might be a good heel or something. And then, like, a lot of it, because you got me into that stuff too, so me kind of being like an outsider, even stuff with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like, I just feel like I'm learning a lot kind of coming to these events. Like,
man, I really think you've came to even not just these professional matches that I've done, but you actually came when I first started earlier in the year with the small tournaments that I was doing in high school gyms. Like in Mansfield was one.
And I think that's kind of where I could see, like, I was like, okay, this guy, he's got like a good angle for this, and like, for
I feel like, man, I feel like I've kind of just like, you know, like I've won a few of them, but I've lost more than I've won. But with that being said, I feel like I've kind of got, like you were saying with these events, you know, I've got my own groove and that's kind of important too, because even guys who are good in the gym, we call them gym champions. Like they're real good in the gym, you know, probably better than me in the gym 9 times out of 10. But when they get out there to the competitions, if they've never competed before, that plays a huge factor, I would say.
It's almost like stage fright, you know, like, because I've you know, me playing in and stuff. I mean, dude, I can't tell you. There's like been a million times I've played live and bombed myself.
Yeah, man.
And or something like that, and then just kind of having to recover and be like, whoa, this is a different atmosphere than playing in a jam room or recording or something.
Or like
that.
You know, small dive bar or something.
Dive bar, like it's like it really does put you in a different.
Playing at dive bars is probably like what performing at the high school gyms was to me. I've thought about that too. How you playing in a band, you know, there's similarities there as far as putting on a show, making sure everybody. I had to make sure everybody that bought tickets to my events checked in.
So there's a lot of legwork that's almost like on the back end that you don't really see, but it's behind the scenes. So.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot I had to do behind the scenes to kind of make all this happen, to make everything go smoothly. The last 2 events, I had a lot more people that bought tickets. This time, because it was so short notice, I wasn't able to do that as well as I did before. But the last 2, there was so many people, I had to make sure they all got in. So I thought about that, how you guys probably deal with that with the band.
It's very similar.
Ticket sales and such.
Well, sick. Is there anything else that you want to plug?
I just want to say, hey man, thanks for the interview. Thanks for always supporting me. And anybody watching that supports me, just thank you so much. And I'm going to be coming back here next year in January, so stay tuned for that. I have a lot more pro matches lined up for next year. This one will be the last one for me for the year. I have one more tournament. That's amateur. That's going to be in mid-December. Then after that, I won't have anything going on until the end of January, which will be here. So you guys check it out.
Stay tuned, y'all. It's badass. We'll catch you on the next one. Ow!
Yeah.
Nice.
Bro, sick.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, man.